Now let's look at another example of polynomial long division. Here I have x to the fourth minus 13x squared plus 36, and I'm going to divide it by x plus 2. But notice that this x to the fourth minus 13x squared plus 36 has no x cubed term and has no x term. When we do polynomial long division, we have to write those terms in. So when I do this division, I'm going to write this as x to the fourth plus 0x cubed minus 13x squared plus 0x plus 36. I write them this way because a 0x cubed, anything times 0 is 0, so I'm not changing the value of my polynomial, but I need these x cubed and these x terms as placeholders when I do my division. So let's see an example of this. We'll put this under our division sign. On the outside goes my x plus 2. And then I need to figure out how many times x goes into x to the fourth. Well, x goes into x to the fourth x cubed times x cubed multiplied by x is x to the fourth. But then you also have to multiply it by the 2. So we have a 2x cubed, and then we subtract. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth is 0. 0x cubed minus 2x cubed is a negative 2x cubed. Because we have this x cubed term here, that is why we needed this 0x cubed as a placeholder. Now we just bring down the rest of our terms. We get a negative 13x squared plus 0x plus 36. Now we need to figure out how many times x goes into negative 2x cubed. And that goes in negative 2x squared times. Negative 2x squared times x is a negative 2x cubed. Negative 2x squared times a negative 2 is a negative 4x squared, and we subtract. Negative 2x cubed minus a negative 2x cubed is 0. Negative 13x squared minus a negative 4x squared is a negative 9x squared. And then again, we just bring down our other two terms. So we have a plus 0x and a plus 36. Now we need to figure out how many times x goes into a negative 9x squared. It goes in a negative 9x times. Negative 9x times x is negative 9x squared. Negative 9x times the 2 is a negative 18x. Again, we subtract. Negative 9x squared minus a negative 9x squared is 0. 0 minus a negative 18x is a positive 18x. And then we bring down the 36. Now lastly, we just got to figure out how many times x goes into 18x. Well, 18 times x will get us 18x. But then we also have to multiply this 18 times the 2, which is 36. We subtract 18x minus 18x is 0. 36 minus 36 is also 0. So down here, we're left with a 0, which means we have no remainder. And we're at our constant term, which means we stop dividing. And our solution is x cubed minus 2x squared minus 9x plus 18. So whenever you're doing polynomial long division and you're missing a x cubed term or any term, just enter that term with a 0 coefficient and then do your polynomial long division. Now let's do one last example of polynomial long division. Here we have x cubed minus 7x minus 6, and it's divided by x minus 1. So to do this long division, we write our polynomial here we have an x cubed. Now don't forget about your missing x squared term, so plus 0x squared minus 7x minus 6. We place this under our division sign, and on the outside goes our x minus 1. Now we need to figure out how many times x goes into x cubed, or what we need to multiply x by to get x cubed, and that's just a 1x squared. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 1 is a negative 1x squared. Now we subtract. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. 0x squared minus a negative 1x squared is a positive 1x squared. Then we bring down our other two terms, minus 7x minus 6. Now we need to figure out how many times x goes into 1x squared, or what we need to multiply x by to get a 1x squared. That answer is just x. X times x will get us our x squared, and x times our negative 1 will get us a negative 1x. Now we subtract. X squared minus an x squared is 0. Negative 7x minus a negative 1x is a negative 6x. We bring down our negative 6. And now we need to figure out how many times x goes into a negative 6x, or what we need to multiply x by to get a negative 6x. That's just negative 6. So negative 6 times x is our negative 6x, and negative 6 times negative 1 is a positive 6. We subtract. Negative 6x minus a negative 6x is 0, and negative 6 minus a positive 6 is a negative 12. Now notice we've hit our constant term. We've run out of terms to bring down, and we're left here with this negative 12. This is the first time we haven't had a 0 when we finished. That means that we have a remainder. And our remainder is a negative 12. So our answer then, we would write it out. First, what we have up here on top of our division sign. So we have an x squared plus x minus 6. But then we have this remainder of negative 12. So we write that as a negative 12 over whatever we're dividing by. So x minus 1. So our solution then would be x squared plus x minus 6 minus 12 over x minus 1. So when you run out of terms to bring down and you hit your constant term in your solution, if you have a number down here that's not 0, that means you have a remainder. And your remainder is always written over whatever you're dividing by. And that completes the tutorial on dividing polynomials.